Okay, good evening, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Happy? Happy as usual, right? We in the best environments to practice meditation and learning the Dhamma, and I want to remind you that to make sure that make sure that you go to bed with happy feeling. Okay. Um, Tonight I want to spend again another 15-20 minutes and sharing with you about the sustainable happiness. Okay, what it is and how to approach to happiness. We are going to look at the happiness from the lens of scholar as well as through the lens of Buddhism. The question is, what exactly that most people want in life. So the question like this, from time to time, got us thinking what we have been doing. We go to school, we find good job, get married, we expand business, we buy house, buy car. In the past 10 years, the word of happiness and the way that we can approach to study happiness has been expand very widely in the West. Many good schools like Harvard or University of California or many places in the world start teaching, open up the course that teach about happiness and how to be happy, you know, including many online courses. This phenomenon I think is quite interesting. Okay, why people start wanting to know about happiness now? Why not before? Research show that top of the list, people put happiness on the top of the list. That what I want the most in life is happiness. Okay, not money, not business, not traveling, but they put happiness on top of the list. Most of people do that. What about you? What is on top of your list, with everything that you do? Why you become a monk? Why don't you go back to your world, find good job, traveling around the world 3 times maybe before you die? Why not? Why you sacrifice yourself, leave everything behind, and stay in the wood like this? Where nothing much. There must be a reason. A great scholar like Socrates or Greek philosopher in the past, a lot of people back then, they ask themselves the question about what is life, how to live life noble, try to find the answer of something deeper than just wake up in the morning, go to work, get married, have kids, eventually die. There should be something more than that. Should be something that bigger than us. So he said, an unexamined life is not worth living. And it's similar to the Buddha. The Buddha said, if a man can live for one day, but he reflect upon his own life, his life is worth more than a person or a man who can live 100 years without ever thinking about his own life. If you live one day, but you reflect on that, which is very similar. Aristotle said happiness is the meaning and purpose of life, whole aim and end of human existence. So basically, everything about life is coming down to the word happiness, the driving force for us to do something because we want to be happy. Why don't you take a moment to think of the happiest moment of your day today, or maybe last month, or maybe last year. If you look back the day you born until this moment, can you right away think of 3 situation in your life that you can without a doubt say, oh, I am so happy right away? If you are going to remember something on your deathbed, the moment before you die, what would you think of? What can bring you happiness and joy? 3 things. So tonight, before you go to bed, let's try, okay, come up with something and sleep with that happy feeling. If you cultivate that habit every day, you will be much happier because you sleep in peace and it helps you to wake up in peace. This is the myth of happiness. Okay? You said happiness must be found. That's what most people believe. Happiness must be found. You have to go somewhere, do something, locate happiness. You think it's true? Happiness lies in the changing of your circumstances. You put condition Let's say, when I have this, I will be happy. When I graduate, I will be happy. When I have good job, I will be happy. When I get married, I happy. When I buy my first house, I happy. When I, got, promoted, I happy. If you put condition into your circumstances, you're not gonna find happiness. It cannot be sustained. And the last one, you either have it or you don't. Some people believe that. Researchers found something called happiness genes. Gene means genetic, you know. With successful people, happiness people, okay, they found at least 3 genes in common in those people's DNA. That means, if people have more of that kind of genes, they tend to be happier than regular people. But some people have less genes, less happiness genes. So that's why people believe, well, if I born unhappy, the rest of my life I tend to be unhappy. Okay, this is the myth of happiness. She came up with several books. Okay, this book is quite interesting. It's the How of Happiness. Her research, come up with the number that there are 3 factors that cause us happy or unhappy. The first factor count 50%. This is called genes, happiness genes or unhappiness genes. Okay, nothing we can do much about this 50%. It's already in us. You cannot have or inject new gene into yourself and expect to have more happiness gene. Another 10% is environment, your work, your hometown, your spouse, your basically environment, COVID-19, anything you name it. So this only count 10%. The good news is we have 40% that we can have control to make us happier. It's called activity, intentional activity, your attitude, your behavior. This counts for 40%. This is based on scientific approach to study happiness. And the keyword tonight is sustainable happiness. This is the new vocabulary, just recently, popular in academic world. Side by side with the Sustainable Development Goal, the UN SDG. This is 17 goal, 169 target. But this word is quite interesting. Sustainable happiness, what does it mean? Can happiness be sustained? Sustain refer to or involved with a specific point in time, right? Let's say, we buy a new phone. How long that happiness lasts with the new phone? 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, and that happiness gone. And you get new car, that happiness may last for a month. You can only sustain it for a certain period of time. The answer may be yes and no. Sustainable happiness. But look at the definition of the scholar. She said happiness that contributes to individual, community, and all global well-being without exploiting other people, the environment, or the future generation. This is something big, something very big. This is very similar to the definition of sustainable development. Okay, the development that will not, harm, the resource of future generation. Very similar, but there are details behind this definition. Okay, can this be happening? Can this be true? It's very challenging. Okay, you have to be a very moral person in order to, think of others. I give you one example. Let's say you born very rich family, in a rich family. Your family can afford to turn on air condition day and night for you, to make sure that you in the good condition with the air purifier. 1 whole year you live in the aircon. No problem. Your parents can pay for that. But in your village, you are the only family that can do that. But the rest of the town, there's no money to pay for the aircon. They don't have air conditioning. So can happiness of this house can be sustained because they have money to pay. But at the same time, they use most of the electric resource from the community. Just one family. And this cannot fit into this category. You use, only maybe 4 or 5 people compared to another 100, houses in the village who cannot afford to pay for the electric bill. So according to her recommendation, sustainable happiness can be practiced, okay, in at least 7, dimension. The first one is to practice gratitude, okay, appreciate what you have. Some of them is very related to Buddhism or religious practice. Learn how to appreciate, okay? Cultivate optimism, okay, look at things in a positive way, okay, of course, make you happy. You feel content about what you have. Loving kindness, okay, we just share loving kindness, and thus we can feel how happy we are. And forgiveness, okay, this is also important, okay, not just sharing loving kindness to people you love. Most important thing or most difficult thing is to share loving kindness to someone you hate, someone you don't love, or someone that they don't love you. So forgiveness also important, okay, learn how to forgive. And practice meditation, okay, this is understandable, okay, to calm the mind, to purify the mind. And practice religion. Researchers reveal that religious people tend to be happier than people who don't have religions or don't believe in anything. Okay, I don't know if it's true, but that's what the research found. And take care of the body, mean physical body. Eat good food, have enough rest, exercise. Okay, because without having good health, you cannot enjoy much. You cannot live life happier as you wanted to. And another tip, from another scholar, they said 5 steps for happier life. First one, get to know who you are, what you like, what you don't like, and stay away from something that might, disturb you or might get you in trouble. Let's say you like to be quiet. You don't like to mingle around with people who talk too much or talkative people. It get you annoying. So, 5 ways to work around on that environment. Healthy body and mind, which is similar. Okay, make sure you take good care of the body. Okay, eat, sleep, exercise. No stress. Practice meditation. Okay, and strengthen relationship. This is also important. We're not alone in this world. No matter where we go, we have to meet with people. So make sure that the relationship that you have, you strengthen it. Don't break it. Okay, you can give yourself a score from 0 to 10. To the relationship that you have with people around you. We call 6 direction in life. People above us, people below us, people on your right, people on your left, people in front, and people in the back. Your subordinate, your friends, your teacher, your wife, your spouse, your parents, your master. Give the score to each relationship, to this 6 direction from 0 to 10. Then if you do self-evaluation, which area you need to work on. Okay, make sure you have good relationship, and make the work enjoyable. Make the work more enjoyable. Okay, what does it mean? Let's say you are an English teacher. You teach English at school, and now you cannot go to school because COVID. So you stay home. You may find another creative way, to enjoy your work. Maybe you can teach through Zoom, have a Zoom meeting, or teach online, or maybe you can have your YouTube channel. Do the same thing but different platform. Reach out for more people. It may help you to live happier. And the last one, spiritual quest. That means again, be realize that there may be something that's bigger than us. Okay, like God, like universe, like something else that we don't know. So open your heart, open up yourself, allow yourself to learn more about spiritual life. Go to church, go to mosque, go to temple, talk to the monks. That may be another way that can help you to live your life happier. So this is through the lens of Westerner or scientific. So now let's move on to the meaning of happiness through the lens of Buddhism. As you can see, this is the ultimate aim in Buddhism, to reach something called the supreme happiness. The technical term is called Nibbana. The Buddha point that direction. Okay, if you do this, you practice according to this, eventually you will get there. But it doesn't mean that you have to get there to be happy. Okay, that's what most people got it wrong. If you practice the Dhamma or the teaching of the Buddha correctly, your life is going to be happy every day that you wake up, every time that you go to bed. You know how to work on your own self, to lessen suffering, lessen conflict that happen in your daily basis. Okay, so the Buddha give us the three principle. I would call this journey is a happiness development. Okay, we need to develop happiness, but without having the right wisdom, okay, happiness cannot be happening. And once happiness happen, that happiness cannot be sustained. So start from morality, observe some precept. Let's say 5 precepts: avoid from killing, avoid stealing, sexual misconduct, incorrect speech, and intoxication. At least start from here. We monks, we have more precept than that. As a lay person or lay people, at least start from here. Okay, do no harm to yourself and do no harm to others. Start from here first. Otherwise, forget about happiness. There will be no more happiness. Okay, and after morality, you move on to meditation or concentration. Okay, precept only help us, okay, to purify body and speech, but meditation help us to purify the mind. Okay, the mind can be calmer through meditation practice, and once we meditate long enough, we will or achieve something called wisdom, the right wisdom. And with that right wisdom, it will take us, okay, the place where the happiness can be sustained on nibbana. But again, along the way, happiness can be found because you have wisdom. You can work things out, whatever happened in your life, by using the wisdom that you cultivate. It goes together. Morality leads to concentration. Concentration leads to wisdom. And wisdom leads to nibbana or supreme happiness. There are at least 3 levels, okay, of happiness in Buddhism. Okay, the first one, this is where most of us stuck with, the sensual happiness. Happiness that occur, okay, through our 6 sense beds. What we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we touch, what we think of. If we see something we like, we happy. We receive something we like, we happy. If we see something, some people we don't like, we are unhappy. Okay, happiness comes from the 6 sense bed. The Buddha said, by giving up small pleasure, great happiness is to be found. By giving up this, a greater happiness can be found. Okay, you become a monk, you cut off this. You turn your back to sense pleasure. You move your life to a spiritual journey by focusing on mental happiness. Purify your mind through meditation and precept. And eventually, monk will arrive here according to the teaching of the Buddha. If you practice it right, one day in the future, we will achieve the supreme happiness. But along the way, we can be happy and happier every day that we walk on this journey. Okay, so not just stuck here at the first level of happiness, where most people stuck with. Move on to the more refined form of happiness. Okay, especially the red one. In short, no happiness surpasses the peace of mind. Whatever happiness you name it, there's no happiness surpass the peace of mind. Natti santi palang sukhang. That's what the Buddha said. So now we have nothing much, a few pieces of clothes. And how come Luang Pi Khao always happy? You have 2 pieces of this, 2 jiwon, 2 sabong, you have no computers, no phone, but happy every day. Okay? Less is more, right? Less stuff, more happy, happier. Less is more, small is beautiful. So no happiness surpass of mind. When you sit quietly with yourself and your mind become calm, you enter to the calm state of your mind. That feelings is unexplainable. You have to experience by yourself, and that's kind of feeling money cannot buy. That's why the Buddha said, no happiness surpasses peace of mind. Okay, he was born prince, and he left everything behind to be a beggar, to be a man who had nothing. Why he sacrificed himself, exchanged everything he had, for nothing. But at the end, he said, no happiness surpasses peace of mind. Through the lens of Buddhism, this is the approach to happiness. Okay, there are more than this, but I come up with 5. First, practice morality. Okay, observe precept. If you still go out there and start, continue harming, hurting people, forget about happiness. Second one, self-reflection. An unexamined life is not worth living. Okay, like the first quote that we mentioned. So reflection on life. Okay, we born, we get old, we get ill, eventually we die, and that's applied to all of us. No one can escape that, and we are the owner of our own action or the karma. We do good, we receive good. We do bad, we receive bad. Okay, so reflect on that. So how much money do you want to make in this lifetime? When is going to be enough? How many company do you want to own? How many houses, how many cars do you want to have that will satisfying your life in this lifetime? So reflect on that, because at the end, you know when we die, nothing much we can take with us. In fact, nothing at all can go with us. Number three, contentment. Okay, it's very similar to the research of the scientists. Appreciate contentment. Okay, monk, we are taught to appreciate what we have. The kuti, the place you stay, the shelter, the food. Tomorrow you go arms round, you may receive something that you don't like to eat, but you cannot negotiate. You cannot ask people to offer the food that you want to eat. So you have to teach yourself to appreciate the gratitude, the kindness of the lay people who offering us food. Get up in the early morning, cook food, prepare rice and offer you in the bowl. Learn how to be content. Okay. Make merit, or doing good deeds. Again, five of these can apply to Buddhist and non-Buddhist. Everyone in the world. This is, to me, is universal. Okay, make merit. Can be you help others. You think of many millionaires in the world. Jack Ma, Bill Gates. Warren Buffett. Elon Musk. These people, they donate. They help people. They do good. Okay, help school, help kids, help people with HIV. Help people poor country. A lot of things that these people do. Okay, so we can continue making merit. It helps us to feel better and happier. And most important, whatever happen in life, never stop practice meditation. This is the most important activity if you want to be happy. If you want your happiness to be sustained, you must meditate in all circumstances. So I will finish with this slide. Luang Pu said, one sentence, simple sentence, but has a very deep sense of meaning for us of how to be happy or success in life. He says the stillness is the key to success. What is stillness? Why stillness is the key to success? Wow. After his years of meditation, his year of study Buddhist scripture, he summarized one sentence, which is this one. Stillness is the key to success. Okay, why is that? Success of what? You have to look at the ultimate aim in Buddhism. This is, the Buddha point us direction to get there one day. To get here, we need to acquire the right wisdom. In order for us to acquire the right wisdom, okay, we must practice meditation. This one. Because wisdom and meditation, or concentration and wisdom, go together. Those who have wisdom have good concentration. Those who have concentration have wisdom. It go together. So in order for us to achieve or attain the right wisdom, we must practice meditation. But before we can have a good meditation, of course, we have to practice or observe precept. Once we observe precept, the body and the mind, the body, bodily and verbally, are purifying, and then we can meditate better. We have good meditation. With good meditation, the mind can be still. See, the stillness come here in this second step. When the mind being still, you will see things the way they are, and that is why you achieve the right wisdom through meditation. This is why Luang Pu said stillness is the key to success. Success of achieving the right wisdom. Okay, that's just my thought. You may have different idea, but I just want to get you thinking. Okay, and think deeper when you learn Dhamma or when you hear the teaching of the Buddha. So with that, I'm done for tonight. Rejoice in everyone's merit.